Frankie Nicole here. I somehow lost most of my lighters, so I'm juicing up Big Red again. A pretty good message for today. Got all my decks here, although I might be missing one card from one deck, so we'll see how that affects the reading. Usually that just means that a card's going to pop up later somehow and be like extra significant. Something tells me it's like the Two of Cups or something. So I guess today the message I wanted to bring was flipping the script, changing the perspective, seeing the positive. You know, lots of terrible things have been happening lately, and a lot of people have been pretty good at seeing the bright side, but a lot of people haven't. And it's interesting because, you know, things will happen in our lives that we just don't really have any control over, and we just have to kind of understand why they were placed in our path. You know, it's the negative situation. Even though my precious best friend of 22 years, my cat Daisy, we had to put her down. It was one last show of love and true devotion to my wonderful, warm, and beautiful friend who will always be with me. And it had to happen, unfortunately, because I didn't want to see her in any more pain. And you know, I couldn't be selfish. I couldn't hold on just because I wasn't 100% ready to let go of her being in this lifetime. Just like we can't, blame ourselves for, a bad boyfriend or a boyfriend who breaks up with us, some jerk, or some girlfriend who breaks up with us just because, they didn't realize how wonderful that we actually were. Maybe it was just, it wasn't the right person, it wasn't the right timing, just like how I can't, maybe it leads you to some other wonderful adventure, maybe you meet somebody else instead through that person and they change your life. Even abuse, my ex-boyfriend abused me, smacked me 2 times across the face, backhanded, for extra power. And, I could look at that as, I'm an abuse victim forever, or I could realize how strong I have become from that experience that I've experienced, that I would never, ever accept or tolerate any of that behavior ever again. And that I realized that it wasn't my fault, that it was the patriarchal surroundings of this society that have turned a blind eye to abuse and have made it commonplace to ignore any kind of signs of emotional distress and not allowing men to have feelings, so they feel as if they need to take it out violently in some manner or direction, and if your face, body, person happens to be there, then it's there. We don't have it's you have to suck it up and be a man, and you can't cry, or you couldn't cry. I feel like it's very much starting to change, but getting some good counseling and mental health for young men to show them that it's okay. You can have the ability to be sensitive and soft and feel things, and it's not weird. Just like women can be tough and smart and savvy in business and good at math and fast and athletic and just so powerful and smart all these stereotypes that we've had of men and women for years have been there to keep us in our places of society so that it functions perfectly smooth for patriarchy, and patriarchy being that systemic force that keeps people, well, to keeps people of color and people in marginalized communities from being able to seek help, and boosting white male privilege, basically. Um, and there's been societies devoted to it. Uh, Starting with coming to any land, the white settlers, they, have whitewashed history to make it seem like, they were going to save these people. But what were they saving them from? Their heathenism? Their connection to Gaia and Earth? No, they were going there to enslave and kill and poison and turn them into their beings for profit. And they were profiting off people, and they were profiting off the earth. And I'm sorry, not all white men are involved, but all white men benefit. And so what you need to start doing, is you need to start standing up and saying no to that privilege. Anybody who feels a privilege because of their skin color, their social status, their financial status, if you truly believe that you deserve all that money and all that worth, at least donate it to causes that are, that are going to help people, and donate it to the right causes. Don't just donate to any cause, and try to make sure that it goes to the best possible place. And even if you can, volunteer your time, because your time is actually even more precious, and you get to meet people, and you get to see the actual environment of people around you that are different, and you can learn something. See, silver lining. I've had very interesting adventures in my life. I've tried to experience and explore the world around me because I wanted to know. I wanted to learn, because that was my ultimate goal, was to learn what was around me. Now, I never knew it was going to be so dark. I never knew it was going to be such a twisted place, because, as a white girl in a fairly comfortable family, I hadn't seen, nearly the horrors outside of my walls that a lot of people see. I've been comfortable, I've been well fed, and I've been, taken care of, for the most part. But I never wanted to see any of that seen as a privilege. I always believed that should be a right of people. And so I have worked my hardest to help others out of their situations, and try to extend my hand and my whatever I could assist with. Now, there are certain things and certain ways that do not work. Now, I've learned this, so I had to find other ways to help. But I am committed in my life to help others, because I believe that everybody deserves to be an equal. We are all equals. We are all human beings. Nobody deserves to die because of the color of their skin, or their sexual orientation, or their outside, appearance of non-traditional gender norms. Because all of that is made up. All of that is placated and built on a facade of the patriarchy, which is the KKK, the Shriners, most of the government, and the ruling oligarchy of England. It's basically has stretched out over. Yes, she's ruled by a queen now, but she's still very white, very affluent, and there's still a class war going on. So when we can break that down and we can start seeing everybody as an equal person and letting them have an equal opportunity to help the world with their special gifts and talents, then we are done. But we are never to be done because there's so much work to do. But that doesn't mean it can't be done. So I told you about my missing card. Alright, I'm repeating myself now, so I'm gonna start pulling cards. I have a good feeling about this week, especially with this Leo full moon, And I'm sorry, Leos, but I have a personal bias against you because my abusive ex-boyfriend was a Leo. Doesn't mean you all are, but you guys are very emotional people, and you need to learn how to deal with your emotions in a different way than you traditionally have, because it's not working. I've come across many Leos in my life, and they have a very good way of blaming other people for their own misfortune problems. Now, that's not saying that other signs and other people don't have their issues either. But, I have my personal study of Leos. So maybe seek some counsel, seek some therapy. I'm sure most Leos are going to love hearing that. Accept help. Accept the help that's offered. Well. We got some really good love cards. I think it's because I brought my little love shrine. My little love shrine. So many decks, so many cards. Holy, holy, holy. No, that one wasn't the one I wanted. Well, it wasn't meant to come out. I mean, everything has a silver lining to it. There's always a positive and a negative. And you can actually turn negative into positivity. It's funny when somebody gets mad at you because you're not mad, because when they're mad, and it actually makes me laugh a little bit because they're so mad that they're expecting their anger to reverberate into you, and then when you put up this front I'm sorry, I don't, your anger does not affect me, and then it makes them even madder. It's actually kind of funny and entertaining to think that somebody could be so affected and so vibrationally low with their own nonsense and anger, and then when somebody does not reflect that vibrational pattern, that it bounces right back to them, and it gets even worse for them. That's why when somebody starts to try to pick a fight with you, you just have to remain calm, because if they can't affect your vibrational pattern, they can't get to you, and it'll just make them mad. Anything you could ever say to them wouldn't work as good as this. It's fantastic. Oh my. I've shown up. Well, one of me. I'm represented by all the cards. And so is everybody. But it's funny that oh, so many reversals. So many reversals. So we begin the week off with the Queen of Wands reversed. Now, she can be a little bit talkative, gossipy, a little bit loudmouth, a little bit, going off. It's just a very high vibrational energy, and she can get a little wild. Hi, Violet. She's the party queen. She's the center of attention. People, they gravitate towards, a fire sign, a fire queen. She's, very, go-getter. In reverse, it just means that she's using a lot of her energies more for speaking and gossipy purposes. Maybe not so wonderful. She could have a little bit of a temper. It happens. A little bit oversharey. I can overshare sometimes. Yes, it happens. A little bit brusque and loud, and a little bit short with her speak. Yeah. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles reversed, which can talk about an earth sign or an energy of like progressing in work, and it's kind of someone who is resting on their laurels, or an energy where there's this like not a forward motion. So maybe you're in the beginning of the week, you're taking advantage of that Monday energy and really milking it for all it's worth, and not really like putting the energy forward to progress in your career or at your work. It could mean that it could be two people that are maybe having a disagreement, or somebody's not pulling their weight in a situation. And it looks like it might be a relationship, because at the end we have the Two of Cups reversed. And that's just stuck energy. So it looks as if there's a bit of a stalemate between these two people, or there's a stalemate in the fact that this, you're trying to get on your, be productive, do your thing, and it's not quite happening. You're kind of stuck when it comes to a certain relationship or situation. It could be with your boss, or it could be with your work. So it begins, and reverse cards are just stuck energy where it needs a little bit more effort to get it done. So maybe you hit the snooze button one too many times this morning and you were late to work, or, you might call in sick or something. Or, there's maybe somebody is not pulling their weight in a certain relationship. In the middle of the week, we have the High Priestess reversed, we have the King of Cups reversed, and we have the Magician reversed. So it seems as if there's a disconnect from the intuition, and all of these, people, and it's all people, so it's very strange. I've got a lot of people this week, are not connecting to their entire intuitive power. And, the King of Cups is very intuitive, but he can be in reverse, manipulative and selfish and self-righteous, and just under the guise of being just a really good person, but for total duplicitous means. Um, and if he just needs to turn himself around, because it's finding that silver lining. It's the reversals, it's the upright versus the reversal. You can reverse that and have positivity, but you have to analyze and look towards what is not working, what is failing, what is what is the light path, not the dark path. And so maybe this is an energy that you bring to the table, and maybe you are not able to connect with your higher understanding of your intuition, and you don't quite see what's happening, and so you project this insecure, selfish energy out, and it doesn't quite get you what you are trying to succeed at, because the Magician is reversed. So you have to believe that whatever you are trying to manifest, you can manifest, as long as you believe that you and put your energy towards a positive path of manifestation. If you just continually think all negative thoughts and, oh, it'll never happen, or, oh, the world is going to end, or I'm never going to be able to get this new job, I'm never going to switch my career, or I'm not, maybe that's with the Knight of Pentacles reversed. Maybe you feel like you're not able to pursue a certain career because it would upset somebody, or as long as you put energy into those thoughts are going to continue to manifest, and that's what's going to happen. If you truly believe that you are going to have this wonderful, outcome, you are going to be able to go forward and, become this person that you want to be, or have this relationship you want to have, or get that promotion, you are going to have to fully believe in it, even if it seems like it is just the stupidest thought, because it would never happen. Just like believing in changing the world. Some people believe that it can never happen and they've given up. But I believe that it can happen, as long as we continue to believe that it can happen. So at the end of the week, we have the Chariot reversed. I told you, so many reverse cards. All can be changed. The Chariot in reverse just usually means do not go and move without forethought. Don't just, jaunt out. You have to make sure that everything's set up on the Chariot. You have to make sure all the horses are, fully latched in. Everybody's all ready to go. It's very important not to start the Chariot before it's ready. So you have to double check, triple check everything. Make sure all the cargo's in there. But it is the victory card. It is a victory card in the deck. So you can have success as long as you double check everything that you need to do. And then we have the High Priestess again. So I think you've gotten over this energy of this, this King of Cups energy, and when he's upright, he's a very loving, giving, kind, wonderful man. He has his cup and he gives it to you. He gives you his jacket. He, is chivalrous. He, feeds you, and picks up the check without even, looking at you like, oh, are you going to do the dance? Are you going to try and grab it? I think you've moved past that, and you've started to tune in to your, higher power, wisdom, connectivity. And I love this card. It's so cool. She's between the two pillars, and that moon is radiating out. She's just in tune. She's closed her eyes, and the psychic, intuitive energy comes to her. So this is going to be a very psychic, intuitive week, because we've got, the King of Cups, the High Priestess twice. And, the Queen of Wands is actually very intuitive as well. But she's more of a doer, go-getter kind of person, so sometimes her energies are diverted elsewhere. She's a fire sign normally, So, you know, fire is very reactive. It's more reactive than receptive. So, and you know, intuition and psychic abilities are, um, they're receptive. They take in what they see and they understand it. So it seems like there's more of a doing and then a receiving towards the end of the week. And then we have the guide or temperance in reverse at the end. So it seems like there needs to be a balance with your intuitive powers and understanding. And it's interesting because we do have that full moon at the end of this week, so that is definitely connected. So I would say probably take a step back before anything you decide to do at that full moon, especially it being a Leo full moon, being a very emotional, powerful full moon, culmination of things. Whatever you started at that new moon in Capricorn will come to total fruition at the Leo full moon, because that's how the cycles of the moon do work. And so whatever has been, you know, festering under the surface will come to light. Excellent. I don't have any evil plans, I swear. And so for the overall culmination of the week, or the message that I have pulled, is that we have the Four of Wands upright, which is fantastic. So that is like the safe home marriage, you know, card. It's the unifying, you know, you've got these two people working together on this wheel over the fire, because, you know, they have to work together to keep the wheel going, but they have to have the fire to keep them warm. So it's this very like warm hearth, home, comforts, togetherness, family card. It's very safe. It's a safe card because in some other decks they have like 4 pillars and it's like bright and like garden on the inside, and then outside it's like this fire, death, hell pit. So if you can imagine, it's like your sanctuary. And then we also have the Six of Swords upright. So that means there is movement forward. There is mental thoughts forward. There is progression. We are progressing to new understandings and new deliberations, new mental processes. We are able to flip things around. So that's good. That's a good sign. So we are able to take all this stuck energy of this week that's building up to this Leo full moon, which, you know, even though Leo is a fire sign, I sometimes feel like he can be represented by this reverse King of Cups, you know, because a lot of them I've met have been very like, you know, vibrato, here, let me help you out, da da da, I'm, you know, this really good guy, except then after a certain point they cut it off and they've, you know, they've hooked you and they reel you in, and then they just stop. Sorry Leos, I'm not picking on you, I swear. It's just you've had a bad rap, so you might want to work on that one. And then we have the Queen of Swords reversed. So it seems like some negative mental energy, negative female force, negative energy is starting to turn around. It's starting to, you know, that receptive energy, that mental receptivity is starting to dissipate from its, you know, anger or disruption, kind of like how I'm talking right now. So I'm glad to be feeling great at the end of the week. We'll see how this all, you know, mixes around. And then we have, I pulled an extra card because it just jumped out. This is the Magician in reverse. So, you know, don't let the people, the tricksters fool you. Don't let the, you know, your negative thoughts lead you. You know, believe in yourself, believe in the power that you have, and believe that anything is possible as long as you pursue it, as long as you go forth towards it. Well, no shit. We have number 44. 2 4s, that's a good one. Ocean of Eternal Love. Healing, creativity, and fertility. And I think that goes really well with this card right here, which is wonderful. So, this is from my Gaia deck, which is wonderful. I love this deck. It's so beautiful. So let me get the guidebook because I haven't quite, and I've been pulling that card a lot, actually, when I've used that deck, which is wonderful. It is said that love conquers all. This is especially true for you at the moment. Something is resolved and healed through love. What was previously barren now becomes fertile. A seed is planted and you are the co-creator. The conditions are favorable, the timing is right, a new creation awaits you. The birth of something new brings joy and excitement. The forever changing seasons of eternity turn their invisible wheel and a new cycle begins. Wheel turns. Movement forward. A new image is born. The affirmation is, love heals, love brings resolution, love conquers, love creates, love is eternal. And then the love cards, which is fantastic. Love overcomes all obstacles. A change in attitude is all it takes to turn things around. Trust in love's power. It will transform you and the one you love. All will soon clear. I mean, I can't make this stuff up. I just pulled these cards. I pulled it. So tap into your higher intuitive power this week. You know, connect to it. Do not fear the current changes. All is happening in accordance with your divine plan. All the current events are paving the way to a brighter future. Love illuminates all darkness. Remain positive and light. So you have to look at the silver linings. You have to look at the light of any situation. You know, if I wouldn't have been in such an abusive situation, I wouldn't have learned how to be very savvy and smart and defend myself and read people so well, because I didn't want to have to deal with somebody who might turn into an abusive person. So I was very good at learning the signs, learning the telltale triggers, seeing who could possibly be susceptible to the patriarchal understanding that abuse was okay, that they were taught that, and it was deeply ingrained with them, in them, and that it was going to take a lot to change that out of them. A new love is coming your way. Yet, in order for this to manifest, you must first release the past. Are you ready? All it takes is a conscious desire to do so. And even then, knowing that not everybody is going to be exactly like that. Not everybody is going to, treat you like you're nothing and tell you that you are nothing or worth nothing, or, leave you in the lurch of your life because of their own selfish needs, because not everybody is completely 100% evil, and not everybody is completely 100% good. We are eternally blessed by a profound love, by a sacred union with a great source of light whose love moves earth and stars. This is a favorable time for matters of the heart, a time of inspiration and healing. A relationship blossoms, your heartfelt aspirations now manifest lovingly into reality. And to that person who affected my life so greatly, I do forgive you. I don't ever want you in my life, and I never want to speak to you, and I don't have much else to say, but I don't wish you ill will, and I release you from my life, and I encourage all of you watching to do the same. And with that, I'm done.